let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to thank you all for coming tonight, and I would like to stress the fact that we would like you to refrain from using your cell phones if you could. Before we get going, I'd like to take a minute to
Wait.
It's not mine.
before we get going, I'd like to take a minute to recognize that this will be Jenny's last day with us. And as a council and as a town, we've appreciated and enjoyed working with her, and we wish her all the best in her endeavors.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The fire department thinks you can have them get you.
All right, we're still waiting on the quote for the bridge sign. It'll be replaced in the southeast corner of the clerk's office parking lot. And we continually remind the residents to become a part of our Reach Alert system. You can come here to the office and sign up anytime. And also another reminder about flushing things down the toilet that shouldn't go down the toilet, because we've got to keep our sewer lines open. So we won't have a bill like that again. Under new business, I'm happy to say that the billing system is up and running again, and things are getting back to normal. We'd like to thank the residents for your continued patience with the changeover, and we do apologize for the delay that was out of our hands. You should have received the bill cards as they were mailed out on May 1st. Let's see, the bulk station placement upon further review with Bruce. This could go on the property owned by the town across the street from the pump house, with an exit and an entrance to that. So Amy, there's a date needed for the interview process for the town water operator, which the date we picked will be May 17th.
Yeah.
So if you have an application in, that'll be the day we interview.
I'll call him tomorrow.
She'll call you tomorrow. There's a scheduled date for an executive meeting to discuss our police officers, Tom and Matt, and that'll be Friday, May 17th. That'll be for just council only, I'm assuming. Town marshals have been diligently handing out ordinance violations, which will be further discussed by Marshal Tom. Opening, tonight we're going to open the bid for the Crown Vic. We'll hear a drum roll. And folks, we said we'll take the highest bid, so.
First bid is $13.50.
$13.50.
Sorry. The second bid is $750. One for $2,500. $800. $1,101. $1,212.
It was not the looking.
That was for luck, but it didn't hold out.
$1,505. 1,200.
2,500 has it.
Yep. And I'll contact her tomorrow. Virginia Williams is the winner.
So the Crown Vic is sold.
Cheer, cheer here.
Cheer.
You win. Now I don't have to contact you tomorrow. Yay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, also, I think under old business, we still need to discuss the, which company we're gonna go on with the AED replacement. And we've looked at how many, 3 so
Yeah,
far?
3. Get myself caught back up. Cintas came back in. I showed you the first original quote was for $783, and then they brought the quote down by $111. That's monthly, so it's like $672, I think, or something like that. Monthly, and what that includes is monthly service on 6 AEDs, batteries, monthly inspection to make sure each unit is functioning properly. If the unit is used, they'll replace the pads ASAP if it happens in the middle of the night, like with the fire department or something. All they have to do is email them to bring them first thing in the morning. It's a 36-month agreement and up to $110 in credit for our old devices. Yeah, these are all expired. They don't
So they
make,
wouldn't give us money.
yeah, that's the,
How much a month?
it'd be $672 a month.
And that's the best offer we've got.
Yeah, because if we buy them outright, the batteries alone, the cheapest one I could find was $447. And then the cheapest defibrillator is the Zoll defibrillator, adult and pediatric pads was $19.76. But I know that the pads themselves cost, I think, Devin paid $83 and some change for some pads.
So is that a fixed rate of $692 for all 3 years?
I didn't get into that much discussion with her, with it, because they were in a hurry, because I was at an appointment. They were in a hurry, so, but I'll ask her that. And find out that's what.
I think, did we reach out to Reed Hospital? At one time, I think these came from Reed.
Yeah, I talked to, Tom and Matt and Cody, actually, because they all 3 work at Reed, and they're not giving any of them to anybody. They gave out some that they had, but those went to Richmond.
Because I know a guy that I work with uses Union County School System, said they got theirs from Reed Hospital.
That's where these originally came from, you know?
And we reached out, and we actually know some people in the ones who would say, yes, you can have them, and no such luck. We've been unable to get any grant money from Reed yet this year. And that's, I don't say that as a negative. I mean, I'm sure we'll have another opportunity, but so far we just haven't had any luck at all, despite trying. The other avenue we tried was state surplus, because we were having some really good luck on some things at state surplus. And when they get them, they'll get them, but the problem is they're the same generation as what we have that are now expired and defunct, and you need batteries, and you can't get the batteries any longer. So I was not a big fan of the pricing of the AEDs in the first place, but I've certainly come around to the understanding that number one, we need them, and number two, it doesn't seem to be an alternative.
I guess it, depends on my aspect as the fire department to see if they were doing it after the meeting.
Well, I was talking, I think it was with Dwight actually, maybe, or Philip, maybe, that if we could divide that 3 ways, fire department, police department, and here.
On the budget, you mean?
And budget it.
Right, but the fire department was going to go, they're talking about going to, the contract with purging, and that was discussed in the meeting about them providing their own, so we might not have to pay for 6
True,
Of
and then,
them.
and then it would just go down, because she just gave me a quote
for
for
all
6.
6, right?
That's for all 6 units.
That's 2 for the fire department, 2 for here, which would, 1 would go to the police department, 1 for the garage. Where was the other one? 2 for the police department, for both vehicles, and 1 for the garage, 1 here, 2 down there. Fire department, thank you, 2 for the fire department.
Not bad, really.
That's the
So
scary
do we
part
not
of
feel
not
that we're
having
ready to decide yet?
I think it depends
$64
on,
that, yeah.
in my aspect,
That's for all 6.
If
right?
we table it, let's table it for just 1 more month. We tabled it for what,
well, I'm
3
just
months?
saying, reason why is
Find
because
out.
they were going to get with, Pershing and see if they can come up with a plan, if they were going to come with, and that was one thing they mentioned. But then
Yeah,
Pershing
I'll
seemed to
table
know.
it, I'll let her know, I'll send her an email tomorrow,
Police department's gonna get with Pershing about it.
no fire. If they decide to sign
Well,
the
we're
contract.
waiting to see what Cambridge is gonna do first.
Wow.
Pershing is wanting, they don't wanna pay Cambridge what Cambridge should have. So they want us to take over, but they want us to do for a lot less price than what they offer Cambridge. Cambridge wanted 4,500, they said they're paying 4,200. They said, no, they'll pay us 3,000.
No, I thought we voted no on that.
We did vote no,
So it's still on the table or not?
kinda, so we're waiting on what Cambridge's gonna do. And I told Rich, I says, if we get it, we gotta have at least 5,000.
They're not gonna give you 5,000.
No, you won't get
They're not gonna do that.
because they wouldn't give Cambridge 4,500.
Right.
And I want to give you 42.
No, they want to give
3.
50. They want to give
For
us
5
3 and
3.
give Cambridge 42. Yeah, it don't make sense to me. Cambridge needs 45 because they haven't paid in a while, so they just let it slide. Now Cambridge says, hey, we gotta have $4,500. Well, they said, well, how about 42? Cambridge said, no, 45. Well, and they said they're gonna offer us 3,000. And that don't make sense to me.
By the way, Cambridge is getting paid their twice a month. They just haven't gotten a pay raise. So they're still getting paid twice a year, what they've been contracted. They're just not got a pay raise in a few years.
Right, well, I guess they're behind on things too.
So when's their contract up?
They signed a contract with them until January.
Of this coming year? This coming
2025.
2025.
So they just finished out this year until we can figure out if we're gonna take care of it or,
But we can't wait on these.
We
Right.
can't let that all in.
You know, the babies, we gotta.
so the only thing that we could do is say that that's part of the contract is for them to pay their monthly
That's what we're going to do.
AEDs.
Add that in the contract. Go ahead and get this taken care of.
That's the only thing that we could do.
The AEDs, we need them yesterday. I remember looking, I need them yesterday.
AEDs was not included when the governor gave, what was it, $10 million out to fire departments.
Scare packs.
So how many departments didn't get anything at all? And
Only
there's still money
66,
there.
only 66 got them. There's more towns than 66 in the state of
There's,
Indiana.
a lot of departments didn't get the grant, well,
Yeah.
Senator didn't get it for the new station. They
I
lost a
don't
lot of
know
money,
if
so.
Cambridge got it. I don't know if Dublin got it.
No, they're,
I think Cambridge got it.
I don't know.
they're targeting bigger towns
Right.
than what stations.
Okay,
So we'll
thanks.
table,
We'll table it till
It
next
doesn't matter, I
month.
mean, I didn't know it was till January, I thought it was.
they just decided that last night. I went to their meeting last night. And
If you do that long, I'll wheel it on the table, if we need to deal with it.
If it's gonna be reduced, it's gonna be less than what you're saying now anyway, so.
it would be
It'll make the
if
deal even
Dublin,
better.
if Pershing would help us with the AEDs, it's gonna be less on us.
Right.
We don't know that.
We have no guarantee of that.
No, we just had that, if we do a contract with them, we just make sure that's added into that
I'd like to
contract.
know if it's a fixed, I mean, cause a lot of things are this price this year, and then it's gonna go up 25% next year, 25% the following year. And we have to have them, but just kinda know in our budget what we're gonna expect.
Right.
I'll ask
We
her.
like to have that as a contingency, if we go ahead and approve it.
Yeah. And I can let you know. You can go ahead and, if you wanna approve it or vote on it, make a motion or whatever, then
I'll entertain, I'll entertain a motion, if anyone would like to make a motion that we go ahead and approve it and then check to see what the
I'll make a
rate
motion,
is.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve it. On a contingency, we gotta find out if it's fixed rate or not.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. All right, that's pretty much the old business, unless anyone else knows of any old business.
In regards to that, when you call and ask them that, to see what the price would be if we did remove, just to see what,
what it is if we move to.
one or two, if, in the future.
Cause that can happen.
And sometimes they might still charge you the same amount, since you're already in contract with them, it just depends.
All right, under new business,
You did
we haven't approved the, April 9 minutes
that.
yet.
Before you do
Oh, you want-
anything, I just wanted to let you know that I received a email today about the tornado. It came from Matthew Kane, who's with the Wayne County. There was a tornado on May 7th at 8 o'clock. The damage started on Bentonville, or in northeast of Bentonville, and went to Boyd Road. I don't know if anybody know or knew, but right out here on Wagner, there was a lot of tree damage. I can't think of the name of the people that live there now. Family.
Denver Fox.
Fox,
Denver Fox had a tree uprooted.
what house is right on this side, on the south side, just past the other names? Anyway, you could see where the path was. They had no damage to their home. Thank God. They said that the estimated maximum winds was 90. And the state highway reported that between Bentonville and Boyd Road, 26 dump trucks of trees is what they picked up between here and there. So we got lucky.
We got lucky.
Then I was asked to put a map together of where everybody, who got connected with the readings, meters, and where the mains were put in first on this go-round, and this was not easy. So I've got it, if you wanna look at it, take a picture of it, whatever, well, I'm gonna have
If it hasn't got to you yet, that doesn't mean they're not going
Yeah,
to get to
they've
you.
already turned in our second round grant, that went in, it was due April 1st, it went in the 1st of February, so we're hoping we're in the front line and not thrown to the back. And then what else do I have? Oh, it's the wait, next comments. Okay, fine, I'm good.
All right. Looking at the April 9th minutes, I'd like to entertain a motion that we approve the minutes, that council approve the minutes for the April 9th meeting. Do I have a
I'll make a motion.
Dwight?
I've never had one, I've never seen them before.
She's,
I gave them to you.
Last week?
I thought I did. You have them with, what, it would have been with, these. have Jeanette on me.
We can look at a copy real quick.
Ready? Heather. Heather.
Well, I can look at one for now because I don't have ink.
Do you wanna do?
Since I don't have ink, I don't need that, I just need to look at them. I'd rather look at one I can read.
She's, this is the little. Scott, we only had one bid for the fire truck.
That's what,
I don't know.
I don't know if Rich has got any or not yet.
We're having a request that we move it back over there for the time being, cause it's pretty crowded.
That and they're
It's
getting
hard
ready
for people to pull
we're
in.
getting ready to get quotes to seal and paint the parking lot.
that new parking lot, not built to hold that type of weight either, that truck's too big for it.
So if you can ask Richie if he has any, then we'll open yours.
Do you have a bottom line on that?
I thought we did, but I'll step outside and call.
Yeah,
That's the.
While we're talking about that, do we need to make a motion to get the coating done for the
still coated,
seal coating?
yeah, well, we need to get bids on it.
Yeah.
It's been past, it's been beyond 3 years. We thought it'd only been beyond 2. It's been beyond 3. It's way past.
Yeah, it should have been done last year. I got bids on it last year, but we just never acted on it. I can get more bids on it, so we
When
can
you
do
get
it.
your bids, will you make sure that they paint the handicap? Will you make sure that they paint the handicap?
We gotta do all the striping, all of it.
That'll include in the, should include in the bid.
Yeah, you can get it done either way, but I had them included last time.
So we'll get what, 3 bids?
You get 2 or 3, you have whatever.
Whatever we can get,
Oh,
whoever answers.
I had 2, 3 come last time, only one showed up.
And what was the other issue we were discussing?
Lawnmower.
Oh, one of the lawnmowers is dying. And we've been offered like a $9,000 trade-in on that, so we might be thinking about,
Grasshoppers, they're not cheap.
no, they're not cheap. Have you looked at it? I don't know anything about it. Have you looked at it?
I had heard the.
It's overheating.
It's overheating. and
They blowed it out and the fans are all working on it, it's still overheating,
So the radiator probably needs to be rotted,
probably.
which I would take that to a radiator shop and have them pull the tank and clean out the tubes and see what happens.
Yeah,
Because if you're not putting antifreeze in it, just regular water, it's gonna
right.
corrode.
So do you want him to take it to the shop first?
Let's see if it can be resurrected, I guess.
Well, we've done that 2 years ago, so I mean, it's kind
I've
of,
been doing it all my,
but it's to the point where we're still getting some decent money out of trade-in on that.
yeah.
That thing's 15 years old, so. Almost 16.
Is that the first diesel?
Got a lot of hours on it.
Then the good one would be
No,
for
this-
the kind of put it back up then.
Those are her stuff.
Yeah, we've had one, the other one for backup and had a new one to mow with. But Bruce talked to the guy out there about the lawnmower.
Yeah.
And last year out for $9,000 for it. He said somewhere
But
between
today,
7 and 8.
those are not your copy, I'm gonna make a
So
copy.
we got another year on it.
The
So we're still looking at probably
purchase,
$11,000,
so I'm gonna make it
$12,000
to
for
where
it.
you can actually read them.
For the new one.
Yeah.
Well, so that's something we'll be thinking about.
Yeah, I would, let Birch take another look at it. I mean,
I can have him look at it, I'll have Rich take it over and have him look at it. I was saying, even, we just need to start looking at things out, replacing it, so it's got a lot of time on it.
I think you need to look at Lid Indiana, because they're cheaper than Newcastle.
Well, he's gonna check with a place over in Eden. Devlin bought one over there, and they traded in John Deere and got 12,000 get $12 difference. They're gonna check it in too. I was talking to them about it today.
Because I know Lynn, Indiana, every time as a municipality, they give you a discount.
Right.
And I don't think that we're getting discounts from the people in Newcastle, because I went there one time and they weren't very friendly to deal with.
Where'd you say, Lynn?
Lynn,
I would check up there too. We'll see, let's take the next month, we'll see what we do with it.
Okay, table.
Okay, so jumping back to the claims, we had a motion to accept the claims. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Jeanette, second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Now, we're gonna move on to the people that are on the agenda tonight. Are we ready for that?
Approve the minutes? We didn't approve the minutes.
Oh. Oh, I thought that was what the motion was to approve the minutes. We just haven't approved the claims.
You just said claims.
Okay, well, do I have a motion to approve the minutes then?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Okay, now let's go to the agenda. We have Mr. David Sweeney. Want to receive a building permit for his new home on 118 South Street. So,
You have all the plans.
all right, the plans are here, and then, what do we say, we'll have to have a building inspector?
I'll see the plan.
But it's, I mean, so we can building it, you're probably gonna get all the plans, or the permits.
Mr. Sweeney, who's building the house?
Me.
You're gonna get the bids for the seal and paint. You're gonna get the bids for seal and paint.
Yeah. And along with it.
Where's the building?
Do you want me to have his whole
This is,
around?
Here's some.
okay.
Yeah, I'll have him get a hold of you, and I'll tell him to get a hold of you, I need,
I'll try to call him.
okay.
Based on my experience in building a home a few years ago, first inspection is once they dig, dig for the foundation, can't pour concrete till they verify your proper depth. So that's inspection.
Well, in our ordinance, I know it says that it's 4 inspections. That's the only thing. Applications, and they have to, the improvement applications, contractor, even though it's you, you're gonna have to fill out a improvement application, so we can send it to the attorney. All he does is just make sure that everything's legit, that you're okay to start building. You have to have 4 inspections. The foundation, and the roof before it.
really drywall.
Roughly, normally the frame, a lot of times.
Framing.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you get it framed up, then when you take the wood, take the frame.
Electrical and plumbing probably go together.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I know it's
Usually
electric
it's
plumbing.
Foundation, framing, electric and plumbing, and finish.
As long as we're on the same page.
So we're gonna approve the bill. I'll entertain a motion that we approve the building permit.
I make a motion.
Dwight makes a motion.
All second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion's carried.
Do you wanna stop by in the morning?
Yeah, I can run up.
Okay, and then I'll get your permit filled out, give you your stuff back, and welcome home.
We're good to go.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, next, Heather is gonna give us an update on the park project.
I'm happy to announce that we just found out a little bit ago that we have reached our goal. And so we are gonna move forward. The check will be here Thursday, and we have till Saturday. So we were real close on it,
We're
but
close.
we're good. I am going to start a garden club. And on top of that, this summer, I am going to start classes out of the clerk's office on gardening for the youth. I'll have sign-up sheets. I've just started this idea. I bought these, I bought 3 of them, and they are something for Bruce to put together for me. They're made out of metal. They're really nice. I'll let anybody that wants to look at it, look at it.
Raised
'Cause
beds.
yeah, 3, and then we're gonna go right over there. We're gonna put them right over there, and I'm gonna just try to teach kids horticulture basically somewhat. And I also want to teach them how to preserve food, like, so I'll teach them a little bit on canning. But, the children will have a sign-up sheet, and also if anybody wants to sign up with this, they will have to get a background check through Tom or whoever, but they have to get a background check and supply it to me. I prefer through our police department, that way it's easier for me
Background check for what?
to be around the children.
Oh.
Because the children that are gonna be learning how to garden and horticulture. So I will be getting my background check first. Tom's already started that, so I'm keeping mine short and sweet. If anybody has questions on the park, you can ask it, but I am finished.
This will be a good way for kids to, learn where food comes from instead of just the grocery store.
Those, what I got, I'm basically gonna do some tomatoes,
Good point.
cucumbers, and green beans, and then with those, I'll teach the kids the canning process a little bit, because I have a canner that can just come in here. My goal is to kind of have a bunch canned up already, and then show them how to can and come in here while it cans, because that's safe, so that they could be in here just kind of chilling.
That's cool.
But that's a work in progress. I've just started it,
All right.
and that's all.
That's very promising, and we've all been looking forward to this park, and now it's gonna happen. All right, we have the police department report now. Tom, it's all yours.
Good evening. As many of you know, there has been a lot of recent enforcement activity in terms of ordinances. And in fact, I'm sure there's some folks here tonight to talk a little bit about the ordinances. Just know this, that our job is actually the enforcement of those ordinances, or a very small piece of our job, but nonetheless, it's our responsibility to enforce the ordinances. We've been doing a ton of it, so you're going to probably see and hear a lot more from us. A lot of it is just an awareness thing. We continue to have the same strategy and the same philosophy as we've had before. Everybody gets a warning. I think that that's a good practice. It also gives you an opportunity, if you have an issue with the ordinance itself or the issue with our enforcement of the ordinance, to come before town council and discuss that. So that's all I want to say on that particular issue. The other thing is, we received nothing short of some fantastic news. Recently, we applied for and were granted, gifted a vehicle from Wayne County and the Wayne County Commissioners, a fully equipped police vehicle that is now ours. More good news coming on that scenario, but you all, I'm sure, have seen it around town. It's a white Tahoe. If you didn't see it, you might need to check your glasses, 'cause it's really easy to see. So if you haven't seen us, if you haven't seen us around, I'm not sure how. So anyway, just thought that I would share that with you, and we've also done some social media blasts so that everyone's aware that the county has done that, and we couldn't be more thrilled. I think that behind the scenes, the one thing I want everyone to note too is that probably would never have happened a year ago. I mean, I think that also is indicative of the partnership, both in terms of law enforcement and community, that we have with Wayne County. And I couldn't be more thrilled about that. I think that that's something that we've really seen some growth in, and I'm hoping that we can expect to continue to see that growth. So that's it from the police department side.
All right, now we're gonna hear from the fire department.
We got a couple of young guys, or one young lady, one young guy, lives here in town. They joined, and they're anxious to start. They do have some history of medical and a little bit of PD work too. One of them does. And the girl, she's up, becoming an EMT right now. She's riding with three ambulances, so them two look very promising. We're getting back in the swing of doing some more training. We're gonna be taking trucks out better now, trying to catch some hydrants, teach these guys how to catch hydrants right. Old school, like it should be. And when it comes to fire truck, we did have a cap, nothing under 10,000. But we're kinda in bind, so see what we got,
You want me to open it?
open it up.
I can tell you before this bid is open though, that there was another guy that I've spoke with, but he has not come back in. He works for the Amish. And I told him the cap was 10, and the Amish are very interested in getting it for them. But, and they are willing to pay the 10, like the cap, they know about it. But he had to go back to his Amish people and get back to me. He said it'd be a couple of days. So see how they.
So when was that?
So that was 2 days ago, so you might wanna wait if you, cause they are a
Yeah,
promised 10.
wait till next-
Because
till next board meeting.
Okay.
they might take a little long, they do take a
The
little
Amish
longer.
do take longer, yes.
Yeah, they had to go through the elders and,
But they were very interested, and I told them the cap of 10.
because they want the loader.
They wanna make it a
No, they
rollback
actually wanna make it a rollback.
to haul their stuff. When they're building on it, well, they work on stuff all the time, they have equipment, there's ways.
Oh, I know, I deal with diamonds all the time.
Okay.
All right, we'll wait till next month. They got till next board meeting, if not, then
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. It probably will take them 2 or 3 weeks to get that or longer because they do take a while.
do you know which Amish it was? Did he say, his name?
Nope. He didn't even say his name, honestly. We just spoke for a few minutes, and he told me he talked for a while, like, they didn't seem quite interested, but he said he'd have to get back with them, and he's their driver. So he would be doing the business for them.
What was he driving?
A vehicle?
Here's your son.
I think it was silver and red.
Because I deal with a lot of Amish and their drivers, so.
I don't even remember what he looked like. I've slept since then. Facing the crowd.
All right.
Sorry.
Hey, like I said, they got till next board meeting.
At least they can try and
Yeah,
they get to be good money to try.
yeah, they make good money.
Okay, so are we ready to? All right, we have Philip and Ashley Pitcher that you got. And you're on the agenda.
Yeah, so I'll introduce myself. My name is Philip Pitcher. This is my wife Ashley Pitcher. We live at 205 East Main. It's coming up on 4 years we've lived here in Milton. We was approached on Sunday by the marshal, and he just kind of gave me, and he was very respectful, and I appreciate that, you know. Let us know that the town was going to be coming down on us for our chickens, and we have 3 goats. And I, to be honest, was absolutely blown away. Never in a million years did I think that small town Milton would have an ordinance that you're not allowed a single chicken and especially when I own basically 2 acres of land. With that being said, I have kids who are in 4-H who show these animals.
Chickens?
Yes. And are you familiar with 4-H?
Yeah, so chickens,
And so anyways, I want to ask that we get an extension on this 10 days. Because I think it's, in my opinion, it's an unreasonable amount of time for me to try to find somewhere for them to go. With that being said, I also would like to ask that the board revisit the ordinance on that. Every town around here allows, you guys could set it up to where you make people pay for a permit. Obviously, it looks like you guys are kind of looking at different ways that you can rake in a little money. Why not say, hey, if you have a half an acre, you're allowed this. Make it 1 acre. If you have an acre, you're allowed this. You pay us yearly, whatever, 30, 40, 50, I'm sure people probably would do that. It's really touched a nerve with me. If I have to go and, tell my kid, hey, well, we got a 4-H, your show animals, we gotta get rid of them, when I own 2 acres.
But
Now,
what is the limit of number of chickens you can show in 4-H? I'm not familiar with it.
I'll let my wife speak on that because she's been in it her whole life.
unlimited, I think.
For minis, they're limited to 1. Any grade above 3rd grade is unlimited as long as they're in a different show class. It's not gonna make much sense if you're not into poultry, but there's there's game birds, there's bantams, there's regular chickens, there's all these different breeds, and there's meat birds. So each class you can show an unlimited amount. So say there's 5 classes, you could show 20 chickens if you wanted to. We don't, but there are people that do. And then with goats, you can show, if it's a wether, which means it's fixed, as long as they're in different classes. We have dwarfs, there's meat goats, there's dairy goats. So it's a wide range, and it's really hard to say how many you could show. We only have 2 kids, so, and we don't go over the top like some people do. Like he said, we have 3 goats, and then we have about 8 chickens. And they do get shown in 4-H. I was in 4-H ever since I was in kindergarten, and now my kids are 2. It's a good program to teach kids, responsibility, to keep them out of crime and drugs and, running the streets.
Teach them where food comes from. That's why I said, when you was saying that, I said, good point.
And I could see if it is a nuisance, if they're getting loose, running the town.
Are they penned?
Yes, they are penned. We have how tall is our kennel?
They're 10 by 10 sections of dog kennel panels. And that's what the pens are made out of. So
And then our whole yard is fenced in with
my
farm
entire
fence.
yard's fenced in, but
But they're kept in bigger pens to keep them in. And I could see if someone said, oh, this smell or this and that, but we do have almost 2 acres, and we do have them in an area that's not close to any of our
we
neighbors.
put it in an area that we felt would be the farthest from anyone. And anyone that's here that's familiar with my property, you can't even, so if you come down Main Street here, you cannot even see my backyard. If you come down Canal Street, you can see the tail end of my property, you know what I mean?
After the trailer, you can see a glimpse.
But if the town is not willing to at least have a discussion, revisit it, then I'll just have to, I own 3 lots. I don't know that any of you are aware, my back lot is not in the city limits. And I have the survey here, and can show,
Well, that would be the really best way, if you could put them on the back lot that's not the city limits, that would be.
But we didn't want to do that because our back lot is close
it's,
to the neighbors.
so, who is it, Onstock? I'm sure he wouldn't wanna look out the back of his house and see this.
I
So,
think that's where I would.
Yes,
That's where we put them.
we're trying to be reasonable and fair,
I
but
just want to read to you a little bit of our side of the story, and I'm not I'm not being pushy about this. I'm just saying that under our little rule list here, it talks about domestic animals. It says any animal which may be held under normal conditions, sold or otherwise maintained as a pet, that's a domestic animal. But for illustrative purposes only, the following non-exhaustive lists are animals, are domestic animals: dogs, cats, guinea pigs, lizards, hamsters, ferrets, mice, non-venomous snakes, spiders, birds, and gerbils. But under fowl, any bird kept for its eggs, meat, or feathers, and fowl include clawed or hoofed birds. Fowl include but are not limited to the following: turkey, chicken, geese, and roosters. So I mean, I'm just saying that that's what the ordinance is.
And I totally understand that, and that's why I'm asking if the board would please revisit it, talk it amongst yourself. I mean, Indianapolis, the city, will allow you 12 hens and 1 rooster. That's insane. Again, if
And
the
we
town
don't have a rooster either, we have 12 hens. We
is
use
not
the
willing
eggs.
to look at it or
There has been
whatever.
a rooster in the past, though, has there?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
At my
we've all heard
house.
the crowing,
Yeah, he passed away, sadly.
but I mean,
But there is another rooster in town, because we hear him sometimes. I think it's a couple
we
streets
hear a
over.
rooster.
It's
we
close,
heard
'cause I can
roosters,
hear
yeah.
Yeah, it's not us, we just have hens currently. And my one rooster didn't crow for the last 2 years of his life, so I don't think you would have heard him. He was
But-
handicapped.
Would any of you like to see the survey? I could show you right here where it shows, it says, Town of Milton Corporation line, and then I own the lot behind that.
I'd like to just add that from the police department's perspective, we are in agreement with stopping the clock on the 10-day waiting period if town council agrees to at least reconsider. That's the first thing I'd like to say. The other thing I'd like to say that we've kind of danced around a little bit and haven't brought it up specifically is the delineation potentially between a rooster and chickens. I can tell you that the surrounding communities that I'm aware of all typically will allow you to have chickens, but they limit the number of chickens, to my knowledge. But I don't know any of them that will allow you to have a rooster.
Roosters, I don't.
Yeah, so, again, potentially, maybe that's just something that I don't think that there's any delineation in our town ordinance, if I remember correctly. So that's something too, that maybe if we're looking at the town ordinance, that we need to be more specific about as well, so. But anyway, I just want to say for the
And I'm
record,
not batting on the side, but we found out today that there is a gentleman that has chickens in this town, he's had them since 1970.
Yeah, and I heard of another person, because I was talking about, I work at the school, and I was talking about it with a friend today, and she said, right in city limits, but like on the edge, that her uncle has had cattle, and like, you know, 1, maybe 2 or something, at his house
If they
for
live,
the last 25 years.
if they live on Connersville Street and on the south side of they're in the county. They're not in the city
But
limits.
I don't know if that was her or not. She said he was in city limits. It was her uncle, I don't know who it is.
You know, we'll consider this, but the only line that we gotta walk is that other people will start saying, well, we're in 4-H too, you know, even if they're not.
And even so, I can have the 4-H leader
I
or the
understand
Purdue
that.
Extension
I understand.
reach out, write
And
a letter,
again, I
email.
mean, if they're not willing to look at it, then the only option I have,
Well, we're willing to look at it.
they'll be put back there, but then I can guarantee you, what's his,
Donnie.
he'll be in here.
That's okay.
And I don't want that, you know? That's why I'm here today, trying to be reasonable, and asking you folks to
And
be
two,
reasonable.
he doesn't care, but I was nervous about putting them so far in the back because our neighborhood does have a fox problem
Yeah.
this year.
A severe
A big
fox
fox
problem.
problem.
They
And,
love chickens.
yeah, and they tried to, my cat,
Oh, they've attacked
my
our
cat
cat, about
outside
killed
like
it
2
a
weeks
couple
ago.
times.
So I was nervous about putting them back there in the back too, and then the neighbors, so we thought, well, right here, you know, we don't have any neighbors on that side. So we thought that was the best option, but
I had a neighbor a while back, lived across the street from me, had free range chickens like crazy, destroyed my yard. Yours aren't free range, right?
no.
No.
Okay. Well, they was bringing coyotes in. The coyotes was smelling chickens as coming in. And the town, cause I see 2 coyotes come over there, got two chickens one time, and a fox did get a chicken right in front of me.
These foxes have been getting the cats. They got our cat, there was another lady you ran into,
I ain't mad about that.
got her cat.
They're running on Wall Street.
Yeah, yes, they're
It's
coming
that,
out, that little rundown
It's
house.
that abandoned
That-
house by the
that
river,
lot, they're
is
coming
where
out
your
there.
bed's at.
And there's a bunch of
Right
them.
across the street from you, Mark. Right across the street.
Yeah, they've been.
We watched.
Well, we'll sit down and we'll look at the ordinance and we'll talk about it, and your 10 days is lifted on that. Tom, do we need to give them an extension date?
Yeah.
We're,
I would prefer that you all talk first to determine when if you're gonna put a date on it, I would say that at least until the next meeting, and then we'll give you all notice of the decision if you're not able to be here. The other thing that I might mention is that, if we do that for one, it probably needs
Well,
to
that's
happen
what
for
I'm saying,
everybody.
and
So if you, I'm just simply saying the stopping of the clock. If it's,
When was the?
it's my opinion,
Sunday.
this weekend. This weekend, and they're given 10 days to abate, if they're going to. So I just think that if, in the interest of everybody, if you're going to review the ordinance, that we make maybe a reach alert, or we can go back to the people who received ordinance violations for that and say,
June 11th.
you now have until June 11th instead of the 10 days. Just my recommendation.
the other people that are in violation, they haven't said anything about,
No.
Yeah,
They
say
have
anything
not
about
came in. The only family that's came in that had the pictures.
Well, none of them were pleased. I mean, let's
well,
not.
I'm sure they're not.
Yeah.
So there was other violations for chickens.
Multiple.
Oh, wow.
And more
Phil
than
has them in front of
I was gonna say, I'm sure there's
There's like
plenty.
4
yeah,
on our
but
block, on just our road that have chickens. So it's like all of our neighbors have them, so I know like they're not complaining because obviously they all have them.
I mean, this has happened in other towns where kids have a 4-H project going on, and they got a neighbor who doesn't like them, so they go after them.
Sort of amend the ordinance.
Chickens, I mean, I don't have any in my area, we have fox and coyotes that we're dealing with. But I think I think we need to look at the fact that we're holding back kids in 4-H projects.
True, and if they said, more kids might say they're in 4-H, I mean, it's a whole big thing, it's the Purdue Extension in Connersville, and, I mean, they can write up something, for you guys, I mean, like a certified copy of, that we're in 4-H, if you guys needed proof of that. I would just ask that maybe you guys revisit it for 4-H and for the amount of land and per chicken and, the permit thing, I mean, that makes you guys money too,
And also feedback from your neighbors.
yeah.
Your neighbors, I mean, we went through, over 10 years ago, we had a rooster crow about 3 o'clock in the morning. It was close to you and council president.
Yeah, that was Ron's one.
Yeah. I mean, it crowed all the time.
And I mean, I totally understand if you make a no rooster, rule. We don't have any anyways, my daughter's little, so she won't be showing them anytime soon.
I'm willing to revisit it at a different moment, and then we can sit down and actually just concentrate on that instead of everything right now.
Yeah.
Do you have them just like all year round? Do you have animals, or is it just during?
We have, yes, we have them all year round, pretty much. The goats are a weird cutoff that you have to have them before fairs, like so many months, because you have to, all of our animals are vaccinated, and our goats are neutered, if you wanna call it that. And all of our chickens come from NPIP, which is hatcheries that all provide their vaccinations and stuff, so none of our animals are gonna be throwing diseases out there or anything like that. that's another point. They all have to be vaccinated and everything for 4-H.
We got
On
one.
Friday, the 17th.
We'll work on that at another time, but we do have to keep in mind that what your neighbors think about it too, because we're all in this little thing together.
All my neighbors have chickens besides Ron, and Ron, do you actually have chickens?
He said, just throw him some eggs.
Yeah. That's what I'll have to do, start giving all my neighbors eggs.
That's nation. Family Fox is-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 and 6.
The only thing is I think that little shed, I was looking at one, they had Sunday on last night,
17th.
or yesterday.
We can talk about it during
I want a baby fox.
5 and 6. 5 and 6.
But they grew up over there, and then tried to take her down. I tried feeding them, and we had a silver fox just come around my house. We feed by hand, pet it, and he disappeared, it's my shot.
All right, so we'll pretty much we'll discuss that, and we'll discuss it then,
Choose the date.
We're gonna discuss it on the 17th, and if they make, they'll vote on it and make the decision on the 11th.
Sounds good, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, is this gonna be a public or?
It's an executive.
17th is
17th
executive,
is
not
an
the-
executive, meeting, rest of the public, so they'll have time to discuss everything. And then on the 11th, it's open to
We
the
can put
public.
it together and then vote on it the following day.
Okay, we'll move on then, and we're ready for Larry Barrett.
Oh,
Here we go.
I don't know,
You guys, this pertains to Tom Paul. You're handing out your ordinance violations. You've given this man one over chickens.
It's in the
Have
ordinance.
you passed out any over the people that's got all these junk automobiles still sitting around? I've seen none of them moved.
Is that,
And have they got a 10-day ordeal on their junk automobiles?
yes,
Have you been passing any of them out?
yes.
All right, I'll wait and see.
This is what he passed
Whether
out.
they choose to respond or not,
Well,
they'll
that's,
be
yeah.
fine.
Well, what I'm saying is he give this gentleman and his wife a 10-day notification just for chickens.
Because they're a
My
4-H
question,
project.
is he passing out ordinances to people that still got all these junk automobiles sitting around?
And yeah, he is, but I mean, if they don't respond,
hey,
they're gonna pay the
Larry,
fines.
Larry.
They'll go to court.
that's what all these are.
Okay. So those people there that got, let's say, junk automobiles, were automobiles still sitting on a street with no tags
Yeah,
on
I
them,
understand.
do they only have 10 days? I mean,
Well, if they ain't
or
got
have they got 10 days?
if they got no tags on it, it's supposed to be on the road.
Well, I know
So-
that one's there.
so an
Been
ordinance
sitting there for a long
violation-
time. No tags that I know of. I don't see none on them.
Larry,
The ordinance violation process doesn't change as it pertains to the type of ordinance. So, these folks weren't picked on for chickens. They were in violation of a current town ordinance.
Yeah, I understand
Same
that.
thing with vehicles. If they're in the public view, then they're potentially also in violation of an ordinance, and they get exactly the same, identical treatment.
What struck my mind though is he just got chickens.
Yeah, well, listen, and I said that at the beginning,
We've got junk automobiles, more junk
Creed.
automobiles, and he's got chickens.
Yeah, well, I don't create the policy or the ordinances, I just have to enforce them, so I do my best.
That's,
And like I said, if they're ignoring those ordinances, they will pay a fine.
yeah, yeah.
so after the
But-
10 days, if they haven't done anything, the next violation is $250.
Well, what I'm saying, one of my questions is, are you only giving them 10 days? Unless this
They're all the
gentleman.
same,
Make
They're all-
10 days.
10 days to make
Arrangements, right?
Yes, make an
Convenience to
improvement.
a pay. They have to fix, so when you receive an ordinance violation, you're given 10 days to abate or to fix or resolve the ordinance. If you don't, you receive a second violation. That violation doubles. So it goes from the original violation is $250, the next one is $500 on top
So how
of
many days would they have on that second violation?
10.
Yeah.
10?
And it does not matter what the violation is. That process stays the same
And
regardless.
then when it goes to the court, your wages will be garnished or whatever if you work, but,
And that's happening as well. We have some of that going on as well.
I don't see nothing being done with the junk cars. I don't see.
Well, they can still sit there, they're just gonna have to pay a fee.
they're just gonna have to pay the fee, yeah.
We had a gentleman that had an ordinance violation. He brought it to the ordinance bureau, and we gave him, he got everything cleaned up. He was at the $250 mark. We gave him an extra, 90 days to keep it cleaned up, and if he violated that in the 90 days, he would have to pay the $250 plus $500. And he's kept it cleaned up.
And there's a property close to me that, is making significant improvement the last couple of weeks. She's making significant
Yeah.
improvement, so all you gotta do is try.
Yep, it's just like collecting the water money at the beginning of the year. If you ask people, they're gonna do it. You don't have to be evil about it, if you're
I
nice
don't
to them.
know, according to Tom, he's already served people with papers and I see nothing being done.
Then they'll pay the,
Then they're gonna pay a fine.
you
Oh.
dance to the music, you
Okay.
pay the piper.
That's over with.
Okay.
We're getting this ordeal together for the celebration of our birth. Why don't we do a little sprucing up of our town? Our pump house needs repainted, our work building over here needs repainted,
Pour down.
you know.
So, I'm glad you said that.
Well, now what, did you say tore down?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's in bad shape.
It is in pretty bad shape.
But we
What
have
would you-
money left over from the grant. And they've asked for Bruce to make his wish list. And on the wish list is to paint.
Our fire, we got several fire hydrants that need,
He did tell me that too. He's gonna paint them bright yellow, especially the one in your yard.
you know.
But he wants to paint the pump house
Needed.
and the garage. Those are on
Hot
his, to
paint.
be included with the grant money. He wants those painted.
Hot pit, yeah, you're.
Whether it happens before July, I don't know.
Why not do a hydrant painting contest?
We already
That'd be-
painted ours red, white, and blue,
Yeah.
both of ours.
Yeah, mine's been red, white, and blue, but it's
Faded out.
fading out, you know.
She painted ours last summer.
Okay, that's over with. My neighbor, Paul, they went around digging up water meter pits and stuff. Why is his pit still open?
It doesn't have a lid on it?
No, well, it may have a lid on it, but it's still dug up and got an orange fence around it.
Yeah, mine too. SLB is waiting, they're coming back. They were supposed to be back the 8th, but because of the weather that came in,
Okay.
they've not been back. They don't wanna tear up anybody's yard worse than they already are.
But if the fence is around it, they're coming back.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Paul said something about they had broke his home line phone into.
Oh, yeah, he's talked to me about
Yeah,
it.
okay.
Yeah, and Bruce already called,
I've just seen it open. I
Bruce
didn't
called
know.
the company and told them that a Frontier line had been broke. So they already know all about it.
Now,
Here we go.
have we got enough money or can we come up to like hang flower pots and stuff on our street lights like Cambridge has
So
got?
you'd like to make a donation to the park
Well,
department?
The park's got nothing to do with the flower pots.
It's under the same, it's park and recreation, it's under the same thing, so any donations are welcome.
Okay.
Let's go, Larry.
So we're gonna get that, so we're gonna get flower pots.
We've talked about it, and we've even talked about it with Teddy and Bruce. We agree.
It's in the working.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
we gotta
That'd be
find,
nice,
yeah.
it'd look nice.
and we've also had a conversation with Dwight for our safety, since we're in the middle of the building. We'd like to see something cement right out that door so nobody can drive through and hit us.
Like at Walmart.
Yeah.
Some cement pillars or something.
Or a flower pot, or something.
A big flower. Yeah,
Big.
big flower pot.
You know, like a courthouse, those great big ones nobody drives through.
Kinda like what they have at the courthouse in here.
Yeah. So we've been talking about all kinds of stuff.
You said something about
Oh,
this
yes.
building over here.
Yes, pretty bad
Have you
shape.
guys looked into tearing that down and rebuilding or what?
I'm going to talk to the EDC after they give us all the stuff that they're giving us now and propose things to them that we need fixed.
I got a good idea. Why don't you guys come over and buy that building behind me?
Why don't you just give it to us?
I made him an offer and he won't take
Oh,
my
you're talking
offer.
about bones. Ariel.
Yeah, before we move on,
Give it to
Yeah, I'm done.
okay, Larry's done. Before we move on, this is a replica of the old mills that Dwight's wife has made and donated to the town. And we'd like to set it up, next to the gazebo, but we want to pour a little cement slab to set it on so we can bolt it down. And I entertain a motion that we get the cement slab to hook it down.
I'll make a motion to do it.
Junior made a motion. Junior made a motion that we approve the concrete slab. Do I hear a second?
I'll make a second. I'll make a
They had s- Junior made a motion, Jeanette second for the slab, so all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. All right, we're back to, Larry, you're done?
Yeah,
All right.
thank you.
Not the picture of the deal,
How big of a slab do you think that would be? It's cool. 2 by 2.
Yeah, it's probably 2 by 4.
2 by 4.
I can get the measurements.
We won't do that.
Now the wheel spins.
It does?
Yeah.
Wow.
How do you want it?
Really right up there.
And you power the lights with?
Okay, we're moving on down the list, so Ronnie, you're up next. Mr. Russell, you got the
Yes.
floor.
About the yard sale ordinance, and Tom has not said anything to me. I saw it on YouTube or something about the town board, and some of them had giggles about they could tell somebody when to have a yard sale, and it had to be put inside.
There are rules within the city limits, there are yard sale rules.
Okay, and how many times have you seen me put out a yard sale sign?
In our ordinance, a yard sale can consist of a lot of different types of sales.
What's that? And I would also like a copy of, it'd be more for you, but I want a copy of that whole book on the ordinances. And if I have to pay Amy to make me all these copies, I would like to have that,
Yeah,
because
you
it
guys
seems
have-
like, well, it seems like every time
The ordinances together.
the town serves me with an ordinance violation,
Yeah.
and I correct whatever they said, then they find another town ordinance
Well,
that
that
I'm in
was,
violation
that
of,
was our fault on the.
but yet this stuff has been sitting out there since my father was alive.
But it just
He
gets
had stuff out front to sell and never put out yard sale signs. And it seems like if I correct this ordinance, then you'll find another ordinance, because some of you don't like the way it looks. It's not pretty. And you tell me that people have come to you and complained, but nobody has ever said anything to me personally, other than Tom and the deputy come and talk to me about this or that. And I'm really getting tired of you finding other ordinances that I'm in violation of when I correct the last one. And I know that it's specifically about me? Because I heard you say on YouTube that he said something about moving it all to the ice house. I've never told you that,
I didn't say
Philip.
anything on YouTube. It wasn't me.
Mm-hmm.
No, what? You didn't have me on YouTube saying that, because I don't go on YouTube.
No, well, it was a board, no, it was a board meeting. But you said at the board meeting,
Oh, I said, I said that I had heard you were interested in the ice house and that would be a good place for it, yeah. I
no,
said
that I would move all my stuff out there, is what you said.
That's
That,
what I
that told me that the yard sale ordinance thing was directed at me.
Well, it's not directed at you.
Oh, well, no.
But I mean, every time we enforce an ordinance, and I can tell you this, and God is my witness, every time we enforce an ordinance, they say, what about Ronnie? Everybody says it in town. I don't know why they don't say it to you, they say it to us. Every time, I've had 2 or 3 complaints this week. But I'm not gonna mention the names because I don't wanna start a big town riot. But every time we enforce an ordinance, they bring it back to you.
An ordinance, as far as every time you enforce an ordinance like chickens?
Yeah, they say, well, if you're not gonna do anything about Ronnie, don't do anything about that. And anybody,
Well,
does anybody disagree with me?
But what
when we say
ordinance
that?
am I in violation of?
Well,
If it's not a yard sale, if I just sell strictly by appointments, because I don't put out sale signs, I put stuff on Marketplace, I sell it there.
I understand. And I know it's how you're making your living, I understand that. But if you could just move it back,
You just move
Move
back
it-
way
if you just
back
back
where?
Make a big difference.
just back farther than it is out now, you're coming out a little bit farther this week even. And I buy things off of you, so I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't solicit your place, because I do buy things off of you. But if you could just move it back to where everybody would quit yelling about it. You see what I mean? I'm just trying to
Well-
make peace.
I think the question
But-
is why is it setting out the whole time? Like, if you're selling something, why is it put out and then put it back away? Like, put out, set out, and then put away for the day.
Like inside that big building, that you have.
It's full. It's full, the canopies are full, in the back behind it. I can't even get in it to work. And the majority of the stuff that I've got, I buy a truckload.
I know,
I sell 1 or 2 pieces, paid for that whole truckload.
I know.
So the rest, I'm in no hurry to get rid of.
But the town's in a hurry for you to get rid of it.
So it is.
Well, but what am I in violation
So,
of
right,
right now is what I wanna know.
So let me try to provide some clarity here. Because the town has a side, you have a very valid side, and I've told you that before. So I'm gonna, and this is not an attack on you, and it's not an attack on the town. I'm just gonna tell you what I think, okay? So take that for what it's worth. These people all, and I've told you before, the interesting thing is, just like Phil said, he has a responsibility to the community. Without a doubt, you're the #1 complaint that I get, without a doubt. Because you have to remember, I'm the one that writes the ordinance violations. I would say 60%, if not 75% of the ordinance violations I write, when I serve that to them, they say, oh, you're going to give this to me, but Ronnie gets to do this. So what I'm saying there is, it is a very big issue in the community. People don't understand why you have a store, or whatever you'd like to call it, that's outside on the street. They like you, they like the business, they like everything about it, other than, as a large number of people feel like to them, it's not something that they would like to see sitting out on the street. Does that kind of make sense? You're saying, and hear this, I've actually said the same thing you're saying now. I've said, when I gave you the last ordinance violation, I said, listen, I don't want him to feel like, after this one, it's just gonna be the next one, and it's gonna be the next one. So I hear you, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think I would feel that way too. So the goal here would be, I think, is to find a way that the town can get, because they're telling you the truth. They get complaints constantly. you're not doing anything necessarily with any malfeasance or any ill will. You're just trying to make a living. So isn't there some way that maybe offline, I don't think we need to solve this in a town council meeting. I've said that once before too. You're a decent guy, you're willing to communicate, you've always been great with me. Maybe we set aside some time and maybe we get together offline and talk about some of the possible solutions where the town gets what it wants, you get what you want. Is that something you'd be amenable to? I mean, anytime you have people willing to communicate like this, I think we can find a way.
If somebody would come and talk to me about anything, rather than me having to come here on violation this, violation that,
Yep, I think.
I would,
Well, let's do that. I'm happy to facilitate a conversation. And if you'd rather not be a police officer, we can figure out something else. But either way, let's just agree to do that. That's okay with town council, to just open up some dialogue, maybe offline, and know that we're not gonna solve it here tonight. Okay with everybody?
Yeah.
but I still, Amy, I still want a copy of all the ordinances. And if I have to pay you to get that, we'll do that also. Because it's almost to the point that my attorneys told me it's harassment by the town because they always give me violations.
But you have to understand, Ronnie, it's not just you. There's
Huh?
another lady in town that she just got her stuff cleaned up. It's not just you. I promise. It's not.
If it's not a yard sale, it's not a garage sale, what is it?
What is it?
What is it?
Yeah.
By appointment?
What are you doing? It's not a garage sale, it's not a yard sale, what is it?
What is it? It's stuff that I like to fix up, that I buy to refinish or,
So you're still, it's a sale. Regardless if it's in a garage, if it was, right now, if there wasn't a sidewalk there, it would be in your yard, so that would make it a yard sale. Even though there's no sign saying a garage sale or saying a yard sale, it's still on the sidewalk in front of your house, which normal people have a yard, that would make it a yard
In the
sale.
back, it is in the yard.
And, well, in the backyard, it's a yard sale. That's what it comes down to. Just like he was there talking about the people with the cars in their yard, people say the same thing about their stuff. It's just what it is. You're
What?
selling it in your yard, so it's a yard sale.
okay, so it's a
You
yard.
have it in your barn,
So
it's in a garage
so it's
sale.
a yard sale, barn sale, whatever.
Well, if it's a yard sale,
You
you can
said-
only have 3 a year.
Have
If
what?
it's a yard sale, you can only have 3 a year.
Right here, this old
The ordinance says-
ordinance right here.
This old ordinance,
I'm just saying, it's been going on, it ain't something that we just
We
made
didn't
up.
just make
Right.
this up.
Yeah, so,
but this stuff has been out there since my father was
not as
alive.
much as it is now.
Huh?
Not as much as there is now. I've been in this town for almost 20 years, and it's grown in the last 3 years exponentially.
It's blocking the stop sign, and that makes it dangerous.
Blocking the stop sign.
Yeah,
I can walk down to my damn house and I can see that stop sign.
Well, you might be able to if somebody
But
comes.
if somebody's right there,
And I have, at 2 months ago, I suggested that the board paint a damn white line halfway out in the road, but that was delayed
Well, they're doing.
because they're gonna repave. Well, how much will it cost the town to paint a damn line out in the road so that they can see that there's supposed to be a stop
okay, they're
there?
supposed to stop, but what about the people on the other side? When you come right there to stop, and you can't see there's a vehicle or a kid coming that cross street, you know, kids don't stop, they're gonna blow right across that thing, but they can't see that kid when they run, and then they hit them because your stuff was blocking their view of oncoming pedestrian traffic.
Oncoming pedestrian traffic. I don't understand
Okay.
who's stopping and who's,
If
where the
somebody's at
kids
that,
are coming from.
if somebody stopped right there in front of your business,
Yeah,
a car, say there's a kid coming down that side street right there, beside the River Street, like from North Street, coming that way, kid doesn't stop. They can't see him because all your stuff wraps around the corner. And it's 6 feet high.
No, it's not that high, because I had,
It's, if you're in a car, you can't see over top of it.
right there at the corner, I had that pretty much cleared off for about the past 3 weeks. I just, maybe yesterday, put some stuff there that I needed to cover up because of the rain. But I have tried to keep that corner either low or stuff gone on the, from the stop sign to that corner, so that people could see.
All right, what about taking all the stuff that's on that corner and putting it in your yard? Across the street.
Out behind
And
it.
to where you sleep, where you put your head down at night. Why can't you take all that stuff and put over there?
Because then it would be the same damn thing. There's an ordinance violation
It's, because
because
it's a yard
it's
sale.
always sitting out, so it's some kind of a sale.
You just sit there saying it's a sale. You sell it, you fix it and sell it.
Right.
It's a sale.
Right,
So
but you're saying I can only have 3 sales a year?
consecutive.
I thought it was 3 days a week.
No, it's, no garage sale or sale item shall be held on the same premises at the same location by any person or persons more than 3 times in a calendar year or within 30 consecutive calendar days of any previous garage sale, yard sale, etc., on the same premises as the same location, inclement weather would permit garage sales or sales items to reschedule. That's it.
So there's only 3 a year. For how long is that supposed to, that sale supposed to last?
24 hours.
24 hours, a day.
So if somebody has a yard sale and they have it for 3 consecutive days,
They can
then
say-
that's their 3-day,
That's for 3 days,
so they can't have another one the whole year.
without getting a warning. Right. You're the only person in town that does it.
See?
I'm just saying.
Right, but right there, I'm the
Everybody
only
else-
person that does
Everybody
it,
else-
so there it is, just me.
No, but everybody else may have one in June or July, an annual yard sale. They have
Okay,
one-
so if somebody has one at this celebration, and then
No,
in
we're not having
August,
a
when
celebration.
when you have the Milton days or whatever it is, then they try to have another one for 3 days. They're gonna get
Yeah,
violated
if they do that,
and,
I mean, you're selling stuff,
okay, so if I
you're selling
cover,
stuff with snow on it. There's been snow piled up on top of your stuff,
yeah,
and people complain about it. I mean, people come to us and say,
so if I cover it up, get me some more tarps and cover
it's
it
the
up.
same thing.
Why is that? It's covered up, it's out of sight.
It's not going over.
It's not out of mind.
Well, no, it's probably not, yeah, that's,
I'm sorry.
laugh,
I'm
have a good time.
No, so,
Laugh about it that it pisses me off.
so
So
you're
just
allowed-
have a good time.
So what you're wanting to say is that you're allowed to do whatever you want to do. So everybody can do whatever they want to do in this town. None of these ordinance are worth the paper they're written on. Nothing. So you can do everything you want to do every day, that's fine. He can do everything he wants to do, fine. We can go up down here, speed up down these roads, we can have everything, let's do it.
I have a
They
question,
do
Ronnie.
speed up and down the road and run them damn stop signs.
You're-
And it ain't because of the what shit I got out. They come from the stoplight and go straight out of town and never even touch their brakes at that stop sign.
You're right. I'm watching
I have a
them.
question, Ronnie. You say that I'm not one to fight with you, so please don't yell at me. But I'm trying to resolve the problem instead of ever just yelling. You say that you buy your stuff and you have enough, that you have a turnover so you don't wanna sell the rest, or there's certain things you're interested in when you purchase.
No,
What I'm asking is, can you maybe, where you purchase it from, is it like a liquidator where you could sell the stuff that you don't need?
the stuff that I've got, I could take to an auction and sell it. And it would be all profit. But I enjoy people stopping and saying, I like this,
Okay,
you know.
so then why don't you ask for an extension like they did and let us see something about the ordinances, and we might not, they might not come up with a change of mind, but
No,
maybe it
they're
might
not,
be that you
they're
have to
not
sell a
going
little
to
bit.
change the ordinance. If
For one
the
person, we
ordinance
can't
can-
change an ordinance.
can make me do something.
Well, I'm not trying to like,
And no, I understand what you're saying,
I'm just asking.
and
if
I
there's a way to
appreciate
get,
it,
like,
but
turn it over to get it out of there so that everybody is appeased.
Well, I think, again, and I brought this up earlier, we're not gonna solve this tonight in the town council
No.
meeting. And I just think we can talk about it at another time, when that'll give everybody an opportunity to take a breath, and let's revisit it. I think that's the smartest way, so.
We might could have an executive meeting with Ronnie alone after,
Yeah, well, I think we need to. I think he obviously wants to hear,
after that executive meeting.
hear some folks talk.
Have a good night, Ronnie.
mhm.
You done with me?
You know?
Okay,
I'm just.
So the fire department never went on their runs, the fire department never spoke. So they just went over the Amish stuff, I don't think he went over.
He said, that they have a new recruit, one of the girls that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He was just reading.
you made it short. Okay, this, does anybody have anything they wanna say on the council right now? Jeanette, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Let me see. I just wanted to let you know that I did find where the garbage pail placement on the curbs is in the ordinance book. You know how you said you thought it was in there?
I knew it was.
Yeah, I found it just a few minutes ago. I was digging in there. I was
She
like,
said,
there
"Look."
it is. Yeah, so, and it's a really good one. I just don't know where we placed it just now. I think it was 6 hours after trash pickup the following day. As we call them. Yeah, okay.
6 hours before pickup.
It's supposed to be put out
Midnight.
12 hours prior,
Right.
and then they have to recall it 6 hours following the pickup. So at 6 hours after.
And they've been, for a while, they were coming real early.
They still are.
Literally, honestly, I passed on the one way to work. I was-
So trust
that was
me,
my fault.
and on video, mine will not be picked up in 6 hours
Well,
after it's picked up,
Yeah.
because I'm at work.
It says if they wait 14 days, then they get
I got some
ordinance
that
violation.
says up to 3 days.
I know some that leave it sitting
Sometimes
because
mine does too.
they don't have any place to put them.
a. Sometimes mine does too.
Huh?
Sometimes mine does too. That grass is wet on my toes, man.
No, right across the street from me.
Well,
Hers
it
sits
is.
out 2 or 3 days.
Alright, so before we wrap it up, we're gonna start this in. If anybody has anything they wanna add?
No, I just think that maybe we need it on the 17th, maybe we'll have a discussion about like the bicentennial, make sure everything's in line, who's doing what and where and when, and so we all know what's going on.
And the people that are in control of the bicentennial, you guys need to start your own little meetings. And then, so that it can be a bicentennial meeting, and then you can present it every meeting. You know, like the perks.
He's pretty much been making an outline.
Well, she's gonna be on the committee now too, so
Yeah, she's gonna
we'll,
work with the parade.
I'm driving my tractor. Alright, I'm gonna try to wait.
And, you know, if anybody in the community wants to volunteer anything on the bicentennial, we're open to suggestions.
Golf cart.
Golf carts,
What
etc.
about it?
People will be parking over at the Ball Diamond, and some of the older people won't wanna walk back over here, and so golf carts would be nice to help people back and forth.
Mine,
They don't have to.
it's not in good shape.
It
I
just
wa-
depends
I
on
want
the
to
crowd
know
and how much parking is
as
available.
far as that goes. My car,
I think the Ball Diamond would be the last resort for parking.
they don't have, besides that, they don't have a back seat on it.
Dwight, you have anything you wanna add?
Thing that I have is there was a Christina Hollering here to talk about the murals, and she will be on vacation for a while, but she will be coming back. I only had text messages with her, I didn't know she was coming.
She emailed me that she was coming and I didn't get that email because it was after it was weekends happened.
So we can, yeah, she's gonna be on vacation from the 15th to 20th. And I'm thinking she's out of Indianapolis because she has a
Yeah,
317 area.
she works under Pamela. Pamela's over that whole topic.
Okay.
So we pretty much settled on what the picture would be. or
So what
the
one?
visual
She's practicing still. She's just coming up. She's just coming up with ideas right now. Like she's
Oh,
drawing.
just the one that we approved on that sign.
And I even spoke with her about, you know how she is bright and colorful? So she thought about trying to incorporate some of our heritage along with the birds and stuff, that it might be bright and colorful. And I think that'd be pretty for a park anyway.
Yeah.
It's a free work and it'll look nice there for
She was very interested in the mill.
Mhm.
So I sent her that one mill, the wool mill.
And I think that'd be easy to incorporate in at bright colors and still look really neat.
I think the one that Annette did, you know, 'cause it's pretty simple looking, so it wouldn't be so hard to.
Well, I'll tell you, I go to the library every other week, or every week, and you're pulling up more and more pictures of what was going on back in the 1800s. So there's a lot of stuff out there. So, but yeah, I mean, the mill
I want
is,
to copy all that.
the only thing, I mean, well, and I don't have anything on the camp, I mean, I'll tell you where I'm at. I have 71 pages of documents that we could show about the history of Milton. Part of those is veterans. I've been getting,
At least once a week.
yeah,
You
and
get
then
dropped
some.
off.
But there's all kinds of veterans here in Milton. And I've created a document for each one that we can display during,
So do you want to display it like on
It'll be-
a flat screen or like?
I can bring in my TV, I said.
well,
Or on projector or?
the church, the Christian
This
church,
slideshow, I don't know what it'll be.
I've talked to them, they're willing, if I put it on a USB drive,
Like a PowerPoint?
yeah, it's all PowerPoint.
Put it on more than one USB drive and we can have it in different places, because like we can
Yes.
bring in some TVs here. I have TVs, projectors, I have all that fun stuff.
My only concern here is if we got people walking around looking at all these photos, and you're trying to show a screen here, it's gonna be kinda hard to do. You-
We'll move these tables right in there. We'll take all this out of here, put a TV right there,
Mhm.
they can watch it as they're walking.
Cause I know Jason Flood mentioned bringing in a large screen.
I got one, she's got one.
So I mean, if you wanted to do, I mean, in the Christian church, they have 2 monitors.
Two big ones at the front.
Over the front, they're only like 3 years old, so they're like, and I can give them a USB drive when we agree with what we wanna show them, just let it continue to run. Right now, I'm in the editing stage, and if anybody wants to look at these, hey, I'll leave them here. I mean, these, right now, basically, is all the veterans, and I just did 3 of them today.
Well, Heather and I just, on a side note, Heather and I received probably the pretty cool book today from, what's her name, Anita?
Doty. Anita Doty.
Not really.
Yeah, she sold me the winning raffle ticket, you better believe that. She's selling raffle tickets for $40. It's so cool.
It's the county of Wayne, Indiana. And everything is in here.
Even world history's in there, it's really
Yeah,
neat.
it is, we're gonna have it out, but it is in, it's in pretty rough shape, the back and the front cover, but is from 1912.
And it's got even a picture of middle school in there when they had a picket fence.
Yeah, the middle school had
When
a
it was
picket
all, like-
fence. Oh, yeah, it's really cool.
When
But
it
we're
was
gonna have it
smaller.
out here, watching it gingerly.
Or we might have pictures on it, like we might,
But her mother gave us this.
yeah, it was donated to the town.
And she gave us a artifact that she had found. Wrapped in her home at 108 East Walnut Street, this vase was found in the attic in 1965. Wrapped up in tissue in a big box. The box is rotten and fell apart, but she would like us to keep this. And the book, and it's from Nona Doty. So, once we get other things organized, we're gonna find a place to put this, figure out a place to put the book. But I thought it was pretty nice of her to give it to the town.
She bought it at a yard sale, she bought it at a yard sale for like $175, didn't she say? Cause they kept running it up, so she wanted to buy it, I think that's cool. Probably one of a kind is what we figured, like it's even handwritten on it.
It is really, the artwork in this book is amazing.
Yeah, it's exciting.
All right, moving on down the table. Cedric, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, sir.
Good luck.
Junior?
See you tomorrow.
Come on. Junior, you have anything you want to say? All right, then, I would entertain a motion that we adjourn, unless,
Jenny? It's just their appreciation, or our appreciation of you.
once again, we're
We're
gonna
gonna
miss
miss
you.
Just do that.
Okay, at this time, I'd entertain a motion that we adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Junior? Second. All in favor? Aye.